Hello everyone, welcome to round, 5 of the PAX Pokemon League Draft Australian Tournament. And here is everyone. So going around, I am Professor Fern once again. Let's go the other way this time. Down below me we have Nova Cascade.
Hello, hello.
Yep.
Back again.
Yep. We have in the lower right, we have Duke.
Hello, once again. You can't see me. I'm very sad about this.
Yes, we need to...
It's very disappointing.
We need to figure that out. And above him, and last but certainly not least, Uncle Kaka.
Great, and Skids, how you doing?
Yes, indeedy. So it's been another week of Pokemon battles, shenanigans, and possibly cheating. I'm not saying who, by the way.
Shots fired.
We shall see, we shall see. So, we don't have any real announcements this week, so how about we roll straight into battle number 1?
Alright.
So, battle number 1
Should be an
is...
interesting one.
Yep, it is my battle, Professor Fern at the North Queensland Noiverns versus Duke, the Brunswick Bidoofs. Oh, this battle. Oh
They've
dear.
been sadly lacking in their Bidoofness in the last few weeks, I might add.
Hey, if you remember, I'll reiterate this. I called 2 episodes ago, I called out Guffy, and I said I was going to be using my Bidoof. I'm keeping to my word, and I'm very scared of the results.
Ride the moody waves. I'm actually surprised. I was kind of expecting the Bidoof to make an appearance this week as well.
There was too many things on your team that I saw as a threat to actually use the Bidoof.
To be fair, there's a lot of stuff on my team that had the Bidoof made an appearance, it would just be because of, no, get that out of here.
Hey, Bidoof. Oh, wait, what? You're gone? Oh, okay. I'll see you later.
Bye. So, looking at our lineups, my team this week is my usual go-tos. I'm the faces you see just about every week: the Aggron, the Ultra Duck Magmortar, the Noivern, the mascot, and the Yellow Devil Pikachu. This time, however, we have a new appearance: the Mawile. I haven't brought the Mawile out yet. Let's face it.
Been sitting on the bench for too long.
It has. It was my secret weapon against that Sableye.
Yeah, it was the main thing I saw as a threat. I really needed to get that off the field before I even used my Sableye. The fairies have just wrecked me. So I've been so afraid of them, what is kind of funny given their name.
Yeah. And of course, Lord Helix himself, the Omastar. Alright. And how about your team?
Well, as you can see, got the Aberpom as one of my favourites, with also the Hawlucha. 2 things that have definitely shined. Finally brought back the Dragonite, what has done some work. The Quagsire, hoped I could actually get some light that didn't get swept instantly. And also the Rotom and, of course, the Sableye, being my Mega.
Yep.
So it's a lot of things. The only things I saw that would actually respond to most of your team. Though, even then, I was quite afraid of what could have happened. Or could happen, I should say.
Yep. So let's see what happened, and we shall just start that battle right now.
Before we launch into this one here, I just want to ask you guys, so Duke, what were you expecting Fern to lead with?
Oh, I kind of was expecting the Pikachu, but I wasn't too sure about that. Maybe the Noivern.
Yep. So here we go. We got round 1 coming up now. So the opening for both of us was, yes, the Pikachu and the Ambipom, which honestly I expected the Ambipom. What I didn't expect is me having a brain fart and forgetting that Fake Out is priority.
Yeah,
so those are 2 pretty much expected leads then?
Yeah, so turn 1 KO, done. So I
Did
figure,
way
okay,
more damage than I thought it would ever do.
I'm going to deal with this retarded-looking monkey. Come in, Draco Meteor its face.
Hurts. And I don't
It
know how
survives
this
and returns the
happens.
favour. Yeah, this happens.
With 6 HP, last resort, and yeah, Noiverns doesn't like that.
I was
It
shocked that it
was very
when I was
disappointed.
watching this.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I was. I was sitting there with my 3DS and because of what? So we come out with Mega Aggron and Rotom Mo on the other side.
Honestly, I didn't expect the Mega Aggron. It was one of the few things my Rotom Mo couldn't handle.
Yep.
So
it takes a Leaf Storm and it just comes back in with a nice heavy slam. Gives it a really good
which
whack.
I must say though, if I knew that I would actually survive the heavy slam, I would have gone with like a Thunderbolt instead because I'm choiced. So I couldn't do much.
Yeah. So here we go. I took a chance here. I figured, okay, I'm going to throw out a Roar. Anything would be good except the Dragonite.
And of course, you get the Dragonite.
I get the Dragonite. Dragonite gets Dragon Dance. I tried to Stone Edge it. Nah. Miss.
That pretty much sealed the fate.
Yeah,
of
the
rest of
Roar
the battle.
going in your favour was basically just gave you the battle, and that missed Stone Edge gift wrapped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, figure I'll try and regain a little bit of ground here. See which is quicker, the Dragonite or the Omastar, because that Omastar is rather quick. It's
Honestly,
not
I
quick
was
enough.
surprised that didn't get KO'd from the Earthquake.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, Fairy type. Let's try this. Sucker Punch. And...
multi-scale is a thing.
I guess the one good thing that came out of that the Sucker Punch is if you used a Fairy type attack afterwards, it would have would have got rid of the multi thing that his ability multi-scale.
Yeah.
So
which was the idea there, but yeah, the regular Mawile is unfortunately rather squish.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
then the Ultra Duck is yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Ultra Duck does not like earthquakes either. Goes
Yeah.
down like a sack of bricks.
It gave it its best shot. It tried to use a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, it did some damage. It
It'll
put a
work
bit
out
of
for it.
work on the board. Finally come back into the Mega Aggron. It doesn't like earthquake either, and it falls over.
I'm sensing a
actually
pattern
one
with
thing-
your team.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, they
a
don't-
big earthquake weakness there.
Massive earthquake weakness, as I have unfortunately discovered. So,
Noted for next week. Week up.
all right. So yeah, that I had all these plans, like use the Pikachu against the Quagsire, use the Aggron to shuffle around the Sableye if it gets set up, and take it out with the Mawile. All my plans went completely out the window.
Yeah, it really didn't end up that well for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was definitely surprised about a few things on your team being this Focus Sash, where it was the
Of all things, the only thing that really went my way in that battle was the Focus Band on the Mawile.
the Focus Band. I mean,
Yeah.
that's 10%. That kind of helped, but
Not really.
didn't really.
Not really.
We can be positive about a few things. So you did knock out the Abipom technically.
Sort of. It killed itself.
That's still a KO.
It is. It is. I'm going to take it.
It
So,
wasn't
yeah,
a
what you
sixer,
can get.
so
this is just a good reminder that you can have all the plans you like and lay it out as carefully as you like, but that means absolutely squat once you're faced with the enemy.
Yeah. Learned that more than
no plan
once.
survives first contact.
And that may very be a lesson that gets learnt by multiple people this week.
Oh, yeah. So I believe battle number 2 then. So that was a win definitely to the the Bidoofs there. So
Bidoofs.
battle number 2. Let us switch it over to that view. The Perth Showdown. The Perth Hills Houndooms versus the Perth Coast Cloysters. So what do we got here?
The honest,
Looks like
this
a pretty,
one, yeah.
pretty formidable
Nothing looks like he's
matchup.
bringing his normal stuff.
There are definitely teams we've seen multiple times, that's for sure. In terms of the Cloysters team, I mean, he doesn't do too much change there. We've obviously got the Mega Galade again, the Arcanine, which seems to be his solid standard lead.
Oh, yes.
So I'm probably expecting to see that here. Then, of course, Guthie for the Houndooms has his usual crew there as well. That Iceberg is probably going to should outspeed pretty much everything on that team except maybe the Mega Galade.
Yeah, so
But I'm not sure what Llama's going to do about that Snorlax. That thing is bulky as heck.
The ideal way, if I was in his position, that Nido would be the ideal thing to bring against it. Get some poison set up on it and let it whittle down.
But the
If
problem
you
is
can
it
hang
tends to
into it.
sleep.
Yeah,
You know it does sleep, so even
it's-
that's going to get rid of the poison.
yeah, it's set up for Resto Chesto, that Snorlax.
He has got 2 pretty strong fighting types, though, so the Snorlax may not be the big deal.
Yeah, the Snorlax isn't invulnerable. If you can get in early, lay down a lot of damage straight up, it goes down pretty quick. If it gets set up, well, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So, shall we start the battle and see what happens?
Sure thing.
All right. So, yeah, we're expecting the Houndoom... not the Houndoom, sorry. The Arcanine opening from Llama. And let's see what Guthie brings out. Here we go. Battle is beginning. And we get the Megalopunny.
Very
solid
bad
lead.
matchup.
Ooh, and the
between
Galade from Llama.
Megalopunny and
So-
the Galade.
Straight off the bat, Mega versus Mega. Almost, anyway. The Lopunny just gets out of there.
Yeah. Very not great matchup between the two.
No.
It's actually a pretty good move from Guthie, considering Galade, if it doesn't Mega Evolve, I think it carries Inner Focus, so the Fake Out probably wouldn't have worked in that case.
No.
And the other thing is, we do know... Ooh, he's actually bringing it back as well. Okay.
Ooh, Furfrou. So we're doing a bit of trade-off here. And just a bit of bouncing back and forth.
A nice free switch on the Shadow Ball there too.
Oh, absolutely.
Great predictions.
Yep, we haven't seen a whole lot of any mistakes so far. It's all been very, very clean. All right.
And both getting the poison burn.
Yep.
The poison doesn't look great though.
No, that's going to come back and haunt him, her, on the Coffagrigus. So we get this Cavalier coming out. It just shrugs off the counter hit though. Ooh, and there's that burn.
Burns gradually not
I
burn
wonder if that Escavalier's running Assault Vest, because I don't remember it being that specially defensive.
I would not be a scrap surprised, actually, if it is. So the Furfrou U-turns its way out of there, comes back with the Arcanine. So metal, steel type against fire type. This is going to be interesting.
Steel Bug against Fire type. That is not good for the...
Yeah, but it does, however, get the knockoff in there, which is going to cause all sorts of problems with that Arcanine.
Yeah, but it gets the justified.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Justified boost is dangerous.
Oop, and there goes
Actually,
the
probably the
Justified.
ability that... Yeah, probably the ability that you see run the least on an Arcanine, but Llama's been using it pretty well.
He has.
Yep, I've definitely been surprised by it. So,
I have to keep that in mind for my rematch.
Absolutely. It's a good thing about doing all these post shows and things. We actually get to really sit down and analyse what's going on. So the
But it is kind of
Coffagrigus
funny
is out of there.
since- I was going to say, it's kind of funny since Guffey was the one who apparently made the Arcanine for Llama, from what she was saying a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
So-
all right. So Megalopunny. This is a trade. Ooh, that's not something I would have switched into. The Furfrou against the Megalopunny.
Well, this is after a free clean switch.
which is very highly likely.
Yeah, from a
Furfur's
burnt
got some pretty
furfur.
massive defenses, so it's not going to take too much from the fake out, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, the burn's going to hurt. But...
It does help that it has cotton guard once it gets set up. So.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, nice
Interesting switchback.
Yes. Right into
the
a
fun
thunder
comes
wave.
normal time. What's the point of that? I mean, okay, yeah, there we go.
Mm.
Unless you knew about that, in which case, obviously, that's potentially quite good if you could shut down the speed of the Lopunny. That is one of its big advantages. It's fast and it hits hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead, he's shut down the speed on the Escavalier.
Which is about
Unfortunately,
base 20 in the first place.
well, yes. Unfortunately, that Furfur is just not going to do any damage to it at all. What will do damage to it, however, is the Arcanine. Unless this happens. And done.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't going to survive that. There was no hope with it. But good switch out, that's for sure. Don't want to be dealing with an earthquake or a fire punch for that matter.
Ouch.
Oh wow, that did a lot more damage than I thought it would.
That Doug Trio is rather squished, but because it's focused, it just comes in and it can start doing some horrible, horrible things on one hit point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
As I found out last week. Ugh,
Absolutely.
I played
It's a
that
great
Dutch Trio
revenge
so
killer.
badly last week.
Here we go. The man himself, Big Blue,
tank.
against some Toxicroak.
Now, this one is poison fighting, so that is quite useful against Snorlax at this point.
Yes. Now, don't forget that Snorlax, as we said before, is Resto Chesto. Last we looked, anyway. He may have changed it. But
I don't think
allowing
so.
just
It's
him to
working
sit
too well
there
for
and
him.
yeah, he can just sit there. He can burn through one of the hit life bars, just building up stockpiles. Once he gets down and kind of into the dangerous area, then yeah, he pops rest. And all of a sudden, now he's got the full
the
health and
Swords
really,
Dance.
really angry Snorlax.
Yeah. The Toxicroak can, however, keep up because the max stockpile is 3 layers, whereas the Toxicroak can go up to 6 with Swords Dance.
Yes, it can.
Now, automatically, yeah, 2 turns and he's already ahead of the defenses. So.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that is, like, do you still want to continue worrying about that when the Snorlax is already set up? So,
In this case, it was
What's
enough to
forced him
scare
out,
away the
so-
Snorlax.
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
Nice.
that hurt.
That
Yes.
did a lot of damage.
Again.
Yeah,
Then
plus
again,
4.
it is a 4. Yeah, it's +4. It's going to knock out most things at this point.
That's it.
So
Bit of
fighting with
priority
fighting
there.
is not a great match.
Ooh, and the flinch.
Ooh, that hurts.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I think
fake
that
out.
may very well have
That
just
fake
changed
out.
the match.
It's so easy to get Lopunny in, and you know it's got that free damage every time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, the
And
Furfru just
now
hangs
he's
in
got to
there.
Set up his last resort.
And is it going to go down the fire burn? No, it's not. It's still there.
Ah,
No, it's not.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
it is. 3 moves gone, and now last resort, all the things.
Absolutely. And
Oh, where have I seen this one
whack.
before? I swear we were just watching this type of battle.
Yep, there's a sucker punch. Is that going to take out the Bunnery? Nope. Not the Bunnery. Lopunny.
Mega Bunnery.
Mega Bunnery. That is Ultra Bunnery, I guess.
Yeah.
And whoop, hang on, we've still got one more. The Nido King, Queen.
So the Nido King is basically dead anyway.
Is
Yeah, it's
Ah.
gone.
As soon as last resort starts, you're kind of screwed.
Yep. And here he comes, the dancing pineapple of ultimate evil. Last resort to the face. And ooh, it hangs in there. There's the scold.
wow.
Not enough. Not enough.
That was really its last resort.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, really, really good battle there. That flinch at the exact moment on the Toxic Croak is what changed it.
Well, it was using fake out, so it's not like it was going to miss the flinch.
Yeah. So had he used anything else there, then that Toxic Croak would have survived, and that would have been it for Guthie.
And then Guthie wouldn't still be undefeated. But he's undefeated for a reason.
Oh, yes.
So...
Yes. He's a great player, he's got a good team, and hopefully someone eventually can shut it down.
I've got him first in the rematches, so that's going to be interesting. I know your tricks,
we'll see what happens
Guthie.
with this one.
All right.
If it was that easy just to know his tricks, he would have been KO'd by now. So
yeah, knowing the tricks is one thing. Actually countering them is something entirely different.
Definitely.
Okay. Moving on, battle number 3. We have the Adelaide Crobats, Uncle Kaka, versus the Melbourne Missingnos. Now I'm glitching out. That's even worse.
This is a very interesting one, this one.
This battle, I believe, came down to the wire, didn't it?
It did. It came right down to the very last Pokemon. And we both came into this particular battle with plans. We had a phone chat going at the same time while we were dueling out this one. I think it was last night, or was it Friday? Yeah, sometime the last 24, 48 hours. We spent a bit of time, trying to figure out what each other was going to bring, and I did actually surprise Beaver a fair bit with some of my choices. He was very, very concerned as he was telling me about what actually was going to come out, and wasn't entirely sure, but he thought he had a solution. And I was pretty certain I was going to see most of what I saw. So obviously we've got the Beedrill, we've got the Chandelure, the Xatu, the Aggron, and the Galvantula. The Stunfisk was definitely my list of possibilities. It was either that or the Altaria. And in the end, he's gone with the double electric, which gives him a fair bit of agility to switch around and try interesting tricks.
That Stunfisk has been doing a lot of work for him the last few weeks.
It has, which is probably one of the reasons why he's brought that. He's obviously brought the Galvantula in there as well to try to deal with the Charizard, which has itself done a lot of work as well. So I brought in this week the Breloom seeing its turn there again, which has done a lot of work for me. The Porygon, again, it's just been midfield, doing its job, getting where it needs to go, doing the damage. Charizard's out again, Clefable, the Glaceon, and the Bisharp. So what you can see is you've got the general core of my team, the Zard, the Clefable, and the Porygon with the Breloom as my choice setup, and the other two slots which tend to vary around. This actually would be the first week you actually get to see what the Bisharp really is capable of doing.
Oh yes.
So we'll see how this one goes. See if you guys want to start this one up.
All right. So what were you expecting on the opening?
I was hoping for a Galvantula opening due to we know it's a sticky web user, so I try to cut my speed, try to get me down. So I figured that I was going to lead with the Breloom, and I had basically, if he led with the Galvantula, it was going down. I was very much not expecting that Mega Beedrill.
Yeah, I don't believe it's the first time he's led with the Mega Beedrill, but yeah, it'll catch you off guard. That
absolutely does. Having a look at that, I had basically two choices. Do I go for the Spore? Do I go for trying to hit the thing? And he's gone for the protection against the Spore, so it's irrelevant there. That gives him the extra speed advantage of that Mega Evolution. Which, his next turn, the U-turn really does hurt the Breloom.
Oh, yes.
Bug-type move. From here, though, I've got speed over the Xatu.
Yeah.
That's going down. Which
Oh,
he was literally stunned by. Flying tight, rocks. Is where I wanted to be there. But of course, we got the Beedrill back again, and that's...
Have you ever tried to
what do I
punch
switch
a
into
bug?
from here? Given its low defense, I was hoping that would do a little more than it actually did.
It's still quad resistant though.
Yeah, Beedrill is a glass cannon, but quad resistance against fighting. So we've got the Galvantula coming out against the Glaceon.
So this is something you guys haven't really seen before either. The Glaceon's solid.
Yeah.
She does her job very, very well. He does his job very, very well in this particular case.
A bit of a volt switch there and into the Aggron.
Exactly. And he's really thought that this was actually going to do a lot better than it really did too.
Yeah. He's got the type effectiveness against the Ice Beam he saw coming along there, but then we've got a hidden power.
Got to be fighting.
That'd be fighting.
In this case, yes. There were a couple of options. He had me pegged on ground for a while, but no, this one is actually hidden power fighting Glaceon.
Yeah, fighting, ground, fire. Yeah.
So again, the Beedrill has that speed. I just don't have anything to match that, so I'm hoping for a fairly clean hit, see what he gets in there, chip things down. Most of his kills, in fact, all of his kills are really coming from the Beedrill at this particular stage.
Yep. It's doing an absolute enormous amount of work, that Beedrill.
In comes
It's probably the first time that it's really done the sort of work that you normally see a Mega Beedrill do. Like, it hasn't really done this sort of work before.
So he was banking here on that I would try to pull a solar beam or something, and in actual fact, I did try to pull the solar beam. I probably should have banked on the switch and gone for something a little bit different, which probably would have turned the match around a fair bit. But anyway, I was hoping he'd actually sit with the Stunfisk and try to zap me with its bulk.
Nope. Instead, you copper fire blast to the face, which is just rude. That's rude.
Yeah, it doesn't kill me, but it's pretty solid. Yeah, this is a tech you guys hadn't seen before. Ancient Power, that does kill the Chandelure quite nicely. So that goes down, and out comes the Galvantula. Now, Charizard is not going to stay in against that because that thing is wicked quick.
Danger Duck.
So we bring out the duck. Does whatever a Danger Duck does.
There you go.
Not a fantastic trace there, and obviously he gets the Thunder Wave on me. I get a bit of luck with this though, because obviously he's now faster, gets the hit. That's okay, not a problem. Switches into what is he switching to again?
The Funfisk.
Funfisk, yes, obviously Funfisk.
Funfisk is Funfisk.
Sweet, it's a free hit, so okay, whatever. Is that? And he gets his rocks up, which I know he really wanted to get up because that makes bringing the Charizard back in just difficult. So a bit of a attrition war coming through here. Stunfisk being bulky versus a really, really bulky Porygon 2. The Earth Power does absolutely nothing.
Nope.
So not sure why he shot that one out there, because I know he did try a few other tricks later on. And that Ice Beam is just putting big dents in the Stunfisk. It's just going to... At this particular rate, he's got maybe 2 turns left if I don't try to do something like this, assuming that he doesn't, or that I don't get locked out. And it survives with 6 hit points. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But,
6 seems to be the number. There's been so many that will live on 6.
Yes.
Six,
it's been
six,
the whole
the
league has just been tiny, tiny little amounts of health.
Things just not wanting to die.
No.
So he keeps chipping away with that Earth Power. And unfortunately, chip damage does add up. Until you do this, of course.
It does. But we know that the Porygon has recovered, so it's pretty happy to sit there. It doesn't mind the paralysis too much.
Nah.
Its odds of it surviving very, very high.
So I believe he's just sitting here and he wants you to take out the Funfisk.
I believe that's the case as well.
So you're going to oblige.
It's got to go down. yeah, I am going to oblige here.
Sometimes you've just got to let that happen.
You do.
You're in a position where you can't switch in, so you just got to let something go down.
Mm-hmm.
So Beedrill comes back in, so he starts that switch heading again. Obviously, he gets that switched out. Now, I can't remember whether I lived through this.
Oh, the U-turn?
Yes, I
Quite
do,
comfortably,
okay.
yes.
Yes, absolutely very comfortably. And in comes the annoying little prat.
Ooh, and a free switch. Yeah, very nice.
Unfortunately, yeah, don't get the Thunderwave. I was really hoping he would try to bring something in to really kill the duck, and well, ironically, he does.
Just not the thing you want.
Exactly. If I had to go off the recover, I probably would have survived a little better. Bidoofs, of course, takes a bit of a hit and gets the punch off there.
Ooh, yep.
Which was... It would have been lethal except for that sash.
Yeah, Garbantua will almost always be sashed.
Yeah, absolutely. I was expecting it to be sashed, but that's alright.
Yeah.
We don't mind this.
Unfortunately, he's going to go for a Thunderwave, so you can't quite polish off with another Sucker Punch.
No. Had we gone for the other moves, would have been a very different story. That's alright. We do get the Sucker Punch off this time, and things aren't too bad. But we are on 1 health, and we don't have a huge amount. Neither of us has a huge amount of toys left.
Yep. Oh, and just topples over.
It does, yeah. Unfortunately, that is what a life form will do.
Yes, it is.
So in comes the Beedrill, and I've got the dragon thing coming back in. And unfortunately, those stones are really the thing that did me in here. If the stones hadn't been up, the dragon thing would have very probably survived the Beedrill, and the Beedrill would have been very, very dead. Because the Beedrill is actually the last thing he has left at this particular point. I still have the Clefable, and of course, unfortunately, the Clefable is basically Swiss cheese to a Beedrill. And if I had have had anything else from my team, the Kecleon, the Ditto, in fact, the Ditto would have done a very big hole to that the Beedrill there. Anything else apart from that Clefable's a dead slot.
Nah, bugs are icky. Fairies don't like bugs.
So in reality, this match was lost before it even started. It's like basically taking, say, a WWE team in against a, trained badminton squad in a game of squash. I mean, people are going to get hurt, but the WWE team is not going to actually get that squash game won.
I don't know. You can do an awful lot of damage with a squash racket.
Well, this is true.
And now I am just imagining Roman Reigns with a badminton racket up his nose.
In terms of the match, though, the Beedrill, that was definitely MVP for everyone.
Oh yeah,
it did all the damage, did all the work.
That Beedrill just controlled the battle.
It did. The Volt switching wasn't an issue. We had the stones always around that. But the Beedrill, I could not stop that damn Beedrill. Like I say, the loss was solely choice of team.
Absolutely. All right. And now for our final battle of the night. We have, let me pop it up there. Here we are. The Blue Mountains Milotics, Nova, versus the North Sydney Ninetales, the Dazzles. So, what have we on the board here?
Speaking of team selection, that was probably my biggest thing this week. Dazzles had 2 things that I was really worried about. Kiri, the Ninetales, historically is often scarfed and would outspeed most of my team.
That Ninetales is stupid quick.
It was, and it was terrifying me. The other was Yukiuna, the Mega Altaria, expecting it to be a Dragon Dance set. And once that gets to +1, again, outspeeds a lot of my team. But it was mostly the Ninetales that was worrying me. And I actually... I had no idea what I wanted to bring, because my team, as Ferns has a big ground weakness, I have a big fire weakness. So I didn't want to bring my Excadrill because it would get outspared, Flamethrower, dead. Same with my Trevenant, same with my Lilligant. Lilligant was a possibility because it does have chlorophyll, so it might be able to do some work, but running some numbers, it was going to need to get 2 or 3 equivalences up before it was going to get to the point of being able to do things, and knowing my luck, getting something to sleep that long is just not going to happen. My Scolipede is weak to fire, so it was really a difficult choice as to what I wanted to bring. Scolipede, though, ended up getting in there, and obviously Gastrodon was going to be a problem as well, because if Ninetales decides to start solar beaming things, well, then that's gone as well. But in the end, it actually worked out okay, because Dezel's made a couple of changes to his team that I wasn't expecting, and it actually worked in my favour. But what I eventually settled on was the Jolteon, the Gastrodon, Mandibuzz and Granbull, which have been the 2 stars of my draft. Like, I was not expecting them to do anywhere near as much work as they've done. And Scolipede and Mega Medicham obviously came as well. So it's actually the first week I'm not bringing my Excadrill, which I was kind of worried about because it's been a pretty hard hitter for me. Dezel's brought his Forretress, Kiri, as expected, the Slowbro, and Mega Altaria, but it was the Zorak and the Malamar that I wasn't actually expecting. I was actually anticipating him to bring the Azumarill, because I think he's only left behind once before, and the Venusaur. A, to counter my Gastrodon, and B, because Chlorophyll can also do all the work with the Venusaur. So not seeing particularly the Venusaur, I was very happy. Obviously, Kiri and Ninetales scared the bejesus out of me, but we'll see how that went.
Just on the note there, with you mentioned one of your big concerns was the speed of the Scarfed Ninetales and the Dragon Dance Altaria. But going back a couple of weeks to our battle, where that Scolipede did so much work with the speed boost, I'm actually a little surprised you were concerned about the speed issue there, given the ability to speed boost a few turns under protections and substitutes, and then pass across.
It was something I was considering. Like, I was running that and pass on my Scolipede, but my worry was getting it in and getting it set up, particularly with the Ninetales Under the Sun. If I don't already have my Scolipede in, Ninetales was going to outspeed at the first turn, Flamethrower, dead. Even with Protect and a couple of speed boost up, if it was Scarfed, it was still going to outspeed me at +1. So I needed 2 turns of speed boost before I was safe to get it out. So yeah, it was all coming back to the Ninetales. So, but we'll see how it goes. So we might start this one up now.
Absolutely. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, so in terms of the lead, I was probably expecting the Forretress to try and come in and do some shenanigans with some entry hazards and such.
Yep.
Which
exactly what happens. You get.
Yeah. Brought in Jolteon to start with. Obvious faults, which is obvious. But he actually brings the Ninetales in straight up, so I was able to get some damage on it straight away, which was a big help. And switch out into, I believe it was my Mandibuzz, which, because Kiri was going to be such a worry, I'm actually running full HP, full special defense, so it was a special tank this week. I'm not sure what hidden power this was, but it's obviously neutral damage and doesn't do much, but it gives me the chance to get the knockoff on the Ninetales, and there goes the Scarf. And that was a big worry almost immediately off my mind. So I'm very glad I got that in and the Scarf gone. So he now goes into the tankiest of tanks. With his
the derpiest of derps.
The derpiest of derps and the tankiest of tanks. Again, another really nice knockoff, getting rid of that Rocky Helmet, so the return damage isn't starting to rack up. I need to sort of start chipping this thing down, so we end up trading Toxics. Obviously, my Mandibuzz is causing him a bit of hassles as well. So, but I was quite happy to take the hit on that one, because I mean, even with Regenerator, eventually it's going to get to the point where the Toxic will start racking up. So once we have all the after turn effects.
Yes, double poison is going to take a little
while. It
while.
always takes so much time. So I'm going to bring Mandibuzz out now and go into Gastrodon because I can fairly safely sit in here. Maybe hoping for a water move and get a boost off the Storm Drain, but that doesn't happen.
No, you get a nice move and just shrug it off.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm running a fairly specially bulky Gastrodon just in case I did have to end up taking a Giga Drain or a Solar Beam or something. Ends up predicting the Earth Power pretty well and goes into his Altaria before its Mega Revolve, so it doesn't do anything. And then he must have actually been predicting the Granbull switch there, which I'm actually quite happy that I stayed in because that Steel Wing probably would have done a bit of work.
That possibly would have taken a Granbull one shot.
Possibly not. I mean, Granbull was pretty defensive and it does have the Intimidate, so super effective, yes, but I think with the Intimidate I would have been okay. Fire off an Ice Beam and start sitting in here again, recover up. But again, Mr. Derp is back in here and starts sitting in again. So Gastrodon's not really going to be doing anything to it. So get into Jolteon and start doing hopefully a bit more work. Take a Toxic, but I'm not going to be sitting in for too long, so the Toxic's not too bad.
Oh dear, I think we've lost the host.
Anyway.
Pardon?
We've actually lost the host.
Yeah, we've lost you.
That's okay.
I'm going to fix this on the just on the fly, by the way. So carry on.
Okay. So he's going to bring in the Fortress. So again, now I'm starting to presume he's going to start doing some shenanigans with the entry hazards and such. I was actually surprised how much that Volt Switch did. But I do go into my Granbull this time. Thankfully, Fortress is one of the few things that my Granbull can outspeed. I'm carrying the Fire Punch this week, so Dazzles has run the Ockerberry before, but I was fairly sure with a 4 times effective, super effective attack, it was still going to take it out of that range, and thankfully I was right, and I don't have to worry about my Granbull going down again. Duke. Kiri comes in. Without the Scarf, it's still going to outspeed, but I'm actually running the Assault Vest on my Granbull this week, so it was able to take the Flamethrower, even under the sun, pretty well. Like, it was only just over half damage. And the Earthquake goes off, and Kiri's out of the way, so thankfully. This was actually a really big play, because obviously Slowbro doesn't normally get a nasty plot. But because I had Toxic the Slowbro before, I was able to recognize that this one didn't have the Toxic on it, so it must be the Zoroark. So I decided to stay in and play rough. So that was probably a really lucky turn, because if I had have switched out and that Zoroark started getting set up, it's blisteringly fast. So that was going to do some hefty work if I had let it get set up. So thankfully, I wasn't playing too fast. I was thinking my moves through, recognized that the Slowbro had magically lost its poison. I was just like, aha! Managed to get the Zoroark out of there without it causing too many problems. But now the actual Slowbro is in here, and again, all of the tankiness, and it's just taking hit after hit. And it's, like as I said, the poison's starting to get to the point where it's racking up some damage. But unfortunately, Granbull is not going to be hanging around too much longer, because as much attack as it has, Slowbro is just got all the defenses. So
I think it's a derpy tank.
It is a massive tank. So
it's also a massive derp. Here we
does decide to switch out as I'm sitting in with the Thunder Punching it. Obviously, it's not going to do too much to the Altaria. And I'm at that point where it can just return. It doesn't even have to worry about Steel Wing and risking the miss or anything. So Granbull's going to go down, but it has punched a big hole in the other team, so I'm happy about that. Bringing the Medicham in this time, and I really had to think about my moveset on Medicham this week. As everyone knows, it's got a massive move list, but obviously you can only bring 4 at a time. having learned my lesson against Guthrie last week, not carrying the fake out, it was something that I've definitely put onto it this week. And actually carrying Poison Jab this week, and it was solely for the Mega Altaria. I run the numbers, and it was, even if it was at full health, a fake out Poison Jab was going to take it out. So as long as it hadn't Dragon Dance to be faster than me, I was going to be okay and to take it out. So, of course, this was assuming that Dazzles hadn't decided to really change things up and run a Cotton Guard set or something. So I'm glad that hadn't happened. Malamar goes down without too many issues, and again, the Slowbro's back in here, and I'm fairly sure this is all he's got left. So now I can just sort of, bring the gas.
You can sit back and relax, because that poison would be getting
I can sit back and relax. Yeah, it's at that point now where I'm fairly well set. I think I'm up 5-1 or 5-2 if he's got something else left. So I'm happy to just sort of sit in here, let Gastrodon do some work, let the Toxic rack up. If he's able to switch out, the Regenerators, is not going to be getting back to full, and if he's not, obviously the Toxic's going to take him out eventually. Once again, something living on a very small amount of HP, and he gets the Slack off, and really I'm just sort of sitting in here waiting for the Gastrodon to go down, and I'll bring Storm back in and T-Bolt all things. But I actually think once... Oh no, he does switch out, so he must still have something left. Yes, the Altaria is still hanging around. So, but obviously because it's Mega Evolved now, it's lost its flying type, so Earth Power's going to take it out. And now I think the Slowbro is all he has left. So Toxic's racking up on me, but as I said, I'm quite happy to just sort of sit in here, let Gastrodon go down, and then I actually think I end up finishing things off with the Scolipede instead of Jolteon, just so I can bring in, have all 6 on the field, and let them all have their run. A crit there, definitely helped on the Slowbro, but it was at that point it was either going to be Scolipede's going to come in and finish things off with a Mega Horn, or obviously Jolteon will come in and just T-Bolt it. And, so yeah, it was, and I was actually, considering how worried I was during the prep, it actually worked out to be quite a good battle for me. But yeah, it definitely threw me a loop when the Zoroark and the Malamar appeared on the screen. So I was very thankful that I didn't have to worry about the Venusaur in particular. But yeah, hopefully next week and the week after and the week after, we can it will continue on.
Absolutely. Okay, let me just make sure the chat panel's not going to explode. Yeah, my frames are fine. That's good. It doesn't look horrific. Alright, so I suppose what have we learned this week?
Guthrie is still a monster.
Guthrie is... Oh no, there you go, my frames. Let me just close that because... Sorry, Duke, I can't talk to you because it makes everything look terrible. Alright, so let me pop up the fixtures and we can see who is up next week. I already can tell you it's going to be myself versus Kaka, which could be a very interesting battle because I've been playing for this one for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I still need a little bit of time to crunch a couple of numbers. I've got about 2/3 of my team figured out. It's those last 2 slots that I've got to figure out. But again, I'm playing that whole, I've got a plan here, I've got a plan to my plan, and once that first spear is thrown, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. So. I think I might just not plan anymore because all my plans get ruined. Horribly.
Just bring some things and do some things.
Bring things, do things, make it up as I go along. Be unpredictable.
Ooh.
See,
all of a sudden we're going to see a choice scarf to Scavalier or something ridiculous.
I don't know. What can I put on the Walrein that's ridiculous?
Red card.
Red card's one.
Totally red card.
Eject button.
Yep. Ooh.
We can do all sorts of really silly things. So, the round 5. I am reading that wrong. It is round 6. Round 6. The Adelaide Crobats versus the Melbourne Missingnos. So myself versus Uncle Kaka here. We have the Perth Cloysters versus the North Sydney Ninetales. Llama versus Dezzles. We have the Brunswick Bidoofs versus the Perth Hills Houndooms. Duke versus Guthie. And finally we have the Blue Mountains Milotics versus the... oh right, that hasn't been updated. The Melbourne Missingnos. Nova versus Beaver.
Yes. Be an interesting battle. Beaver's on a bit of a hot streak, so we will see how that goes.
I would love Duke to actually knock a dent into Guthie's perfect streak. Someone's got to do it.
I've just got the
Please,
standings up in front of me, so we've got... It's actually been surprising how even this competition has been. Like, with the exception of Guthie sitting at 5-0 and Daylight second, but Kaka, myself, Duke, and Beaver are all sitting with 3 wins and 2 losses.
Absolutely.
It's really even. It's the only the differentials and win rates, win differences that is separating us. Then you've got Dezzles sitting at 2 and 3. And Fern and Llama dueling it out for the Wooden Spoons, both sitting at 1 and 4, and actually both sitting on a -10 differential. So you are actually both perfectly even.
Yes, and provided we get... It's suppose it's not too late for us to claw our way back up, provided we have a perfect streak from here on out.
Absolutely.
It would be great if you could get those...
turns on his head and has 5 straight losses, you have 5 straight wins, you'll finish ahead of him.
Exactly right.
It'd be good if you can get those stats up on the forum thread as well, Nova. That'd be good to see.
Yes,
I'll
put them up, to update that.
And as I told everybody before we started recording, but I'm actually working on a spreadsheet, and it will have all the tables. I'm running through every match, seeing who got what kills. So by the end of the season, we'll have a MVP for who got the most kills, a blue ribbon for whoever got no kills and the most deaths, depending on how
the
many
consolation prize, yes.
The consolation prize, because, you've got things like Dezzle's Quillfish, which he hasn't actually brought to any matches yet. So if that was to, end up not showing up and getting 0 kills, well,
the Benchwarmer Award.
Consolation prize, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll give it the Benchwarmer Award. So I'm fairly sure that the Quillfish may be the only thing that's been drafted that hasn't made an appearance.
The Rotom. My Rotom has not actually come
your
out
Rotom's
either.
still on the bench.
Yep.
Well, you brought it to a match, though. You've brought it to a match if it hasn't hit the field. So whereas the Quillfish has not been brought at all. So
that's a bit cool.
Over the next few weeks, I will be punching up all the stats, all the tables, and put together a master list of all the awards. We might get some nominations in and see how it goes.
Absolutely. I've got to update that other thread.
We can have
things have been ridiculous here and I've fallen way behind. So
we're going to have a Brownlow night at the end of the season.
I'm going to throw down the gauntlet here, by the way, to those who are participating in the Grand Pokemon Tournament with Altharius over on the US side of things. We challenge you guys. The Australian Draft League versus the Grand Pokemon League. Let's make a day of it.
It's on.
So our 6 versus... Oh no, hang on. Oh, we have Duke back and he's ruined everything. My frames are broken, it's terrible.
The Duke of Hazard, what do we say?
I asked if I should join back and nobody replied, so...
I tried and then it broke everything.
I always broke
at the end of the day.
Can I try this? No, that's...
At the end of the day, once we know you've done your moonshine run, that's fine, but, bring us some moonshine next time.
Yes. Never mind, I've got 2 of you on the same panel now. It'll work. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
I'll just cram myself in the corner.
Other way. Cram the other way. That's better. Alright. So I'll probably do something up and fire it over to Ortherius, and we can line that up possibly after the end of the Australian League. We'll see what happens. But yeah, to you, you folks in the Grand Pokemon League who are watching, the gauntlet's down. Are you going to pick it up?
Someone will come along, and we'll see which we'll be battling for the pride of our hemisphere.
Absolutely. Their rules are actually slightly different, though, in relation to megas. They count the mega and the base as the same poke, so whereas we count them as separate. I believe that's the main different rule.
It's not too much of an issue for us. I mean, we've only got a couple of people who do have the Altaria and the Mega Altaria cross there. That being Dazzles and Beaver there. But unfortunately, we don't have any other crosses otherwise. I mean, no one's grabbed a Charizard or a Charizard X.
Yep.
Well, the Aggron.
No, we have the Aggron and the Mega Run. Yes, so we go. So there's that one there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Actually, let me quickly pop into that thread and see how their draft is going and what their schedule is. Let me just pop it in, and oh, he's actually online right now. Possibly we're not good. Good, we're not doing this live. Here we are. Let me just find the right thread. He doesn't have a hyperlink in here, which is actually kind of silly. Stall for time.
We'll come back.
I don't know. I missed out on a good 10 minutes, so I don't know what's going on.
That's right. We finished the battle and we rolled over who's doing what next week. So basically, we're just wrapping out and plugging the other league to catch you up.
Oh, that other. Awesome.
Yes.
Good to know.
Not the PAX Pokemon League, although we should actually plug them as well.
Absolutely. I mean, which
small
pack is coming up next?
Next is PAX East, I believe. So
Should be excellent.
That is in April.
Ooh. I believe from talking to Phil that our application should be opening soon as well in the next month or two.
Roundabout, yeah, it'll be about due.
Yeah, probably just after Easter, isn't it? Usually.
Yes, not long after
we
Easter.
did it a little earlier last year, but this year about Easter, yeah. So I think we opened February last year.
We did, but we didn't actually end up doing anything until after Easter anyway.
Well, there is that, but yeah.
Yeah. So, let me see. Their draft is currently in progress by the look of it. So there's no real dates on anything happening there just yet. We'll keep you updated as it happens.
I think the draft method they're using was one of the other methods we were discussing before our initial draft, which was they're sending in a list and they're going off the lists, as opposed to doing the live draft method that we used, which is one we stole off. I think it was the Major League Pokemon Draft League mob. Guthrie would know the name of them.
Yeah.
The UCL and the GBA do a live draft. Yeah.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we are.
I definitely prefer the live draft on the grounds of you can actually tune your team a little better, as opposed to if you go in with a list, not sure what you're really going to get, and I think teams would come out a little more haphazard.
Yeah, there's definitely some changes made on the fly for all of us, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I was banking on the extra
definitely
draw, honestly.
I was going to say, there's definitely a lot of oh damn, he took my Pokemon. I wanted that.
I was certainly banking on the Mega Altaria when, which went pretty early, so I left my Mega till the last pick, so I was just like, what's left?
Yeah, and I was hoping to get the Jolteon the second pick, but I mean that went. So
well, that was my first pick straight up, so I wasn't letting that slide.
Yeah, most of mine were Pokemon nobody would use, especially Bidoof. So I was fine leaving that one to last. Then again, I picked that on the fly after all the jokes that we had about picking Bidoof.
I want to see that Bidoof come in and totally ruin Guthy's day, by the way. I'm putting money on you.
I'm
I'm banking on you being the one to break his streak.
Oh, so much pressure. I'll lose too much PP if you pressure me too much.
Maybe we should go and pressure Guthie instead.
Yeah.
All you need to get the Bidoof in is get a couple of defense boosts, and then you'll be fine. Then you can just wreck train.
No, what I need is evasion boosts.
That too.
Boost my evasion up so I never get hit. So...
Yeah,
and I'm definitely looking forward to throw out.
Yeah, evasion's actually against the rules. Sorry.
I can't help if I get it off a Moody. It's luck of the draw.
I like your thinking. Because that's not
Yeah,
against
none of us actually thought Moody Claws needed to be a thing.
It's so
I have to
random.
admit, I did seriously consider grabbing the Octillery for that particular reason.
Mm.
The Octorock.
Oh yeah. It's like with the slave clause. I mean, if something's fainted that was a slave, then I can spore something else. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's only one at a time.
Loopholes. You've got to love loopholes.
What can you do though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. So, let us wrap this up. Keep in mind for next week. I believe next week is our last week before we start on our rematches.
No, we've got
Let me double check that. Two more. Yes, two more.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've yet to go against.
Yes, halfway point of the season. On the run home.
Yes, well, we've got two more shots to break Guthie's streak before the rematches. So mine's the last shot at it.
Yep.
It's going to be a good match.
Okay.
Should be just...
So let me throw back to the title card here. Thank you for listening, everyone. We shall see you next week.